going on, everybody? All right, today is November 28th, 2025. Hopefully, everybody had a good Thanksgiving yesterday and everybody's having a good long weekend and all that good stuff. And today, we're going to be talking about is WB going to sell or not? Because we're hearing a lot of rumors left and right, and a lot of things are popping up. And we straight up got to acknowledge a few things and just talk about some stuff. So, we are going to see what's up and stuff like that. So, hopefully, everybody's chilling, everybody's enjoying their weekend, the start of the weekend, all that good stuff. So, everybody hopefully had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully y'all ate well. Didn't overeat. Hopefully y'all not, too stuffed and things like that. So I know for sure there's a lot of leftovers for everybody and stuff like that. So hopefully everybody's doing well. And of course today's Black Friday. So in case you're out there looking for deals, there's plenty of deals out there. And honestly, there's some good stuff. So if you're looking for stuff, you can buy online or you could just go in person. I'm telling you right now, I went to like two stores a day, and that was enough. I was like, this is just too nuts, It's just it's just overwhelming right now. But with that being said, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, show your support, all that good stuff, and if you could donate, go for it. If not, then just like I said, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for watching. So we're about to get started, and we're gonna talk about some stuff because there's a lot of rumors flying around left and right now, and all these things need to be addressed. So let's start with this. um will WB sell or not? That is the question. Everybody right now wants to know what's going on with that. And of course, we're supposed to hear an update before yesterday. That was supposed to be on Wednesday, but of course, greedy WB, now they're telling and they're delaying things until Monday because, of course, it's a long weekend, and people are right now just I guess Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So we will see what's gonna happen with that update. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There's a lot of speculation flying around. There's a lot of rumors flying around, and don't believe everything that you're hearing right now. Do not believe everything just because everything is up in the air and nothing is right now, for sure. In the sense of this is happening, that's happening. Everything is right now just speculation. And but it's good to see that. It's making noise, things are moving along, but the question is how far will things move along. And we will see what's gonna come from that. Everybody's excited to hear what update is going to come from these bids and stuff like that. And of course right now we're hearing that of course Comcast is still in play, Netflix is in play, and also Paramount. So we don't know how much are they willing to offer, with the counter offers. And this is what I've been telling y'all. It's another thing too. It's very interesting while we're on the topic that I've been talking about these things, and it's like they're listening because all of a sudden these things are just popping out left and right. And I'm like, damn, that's a coincidence, like how all of a sudden these things come out. And yo, like there's a lot of uncertainty out there. And honestly, with the way that things are going right now and just moving, along and stuff. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think in the end, WB is going to sell part, not all of it, because of course, greedy David Zaslav, he's trying to break off the TV and show division apart from the movie division. So I think he's just gonna cause more confusion and a headache in the end. And of course, he's just being greedy. He's trying to get $30 a share. That's a lot of money. I think the last time that we heard was probably like at 25. Just because of the debt that WB has. They have too much debt right now. Let's be real. And we know that Sony is not interested just because Sony wants to, focus on their own things and stuff like that. I know we just heard also probably within the past month that Netflix had also backed out, but once they saw Paramount still making offers and, the whole thing with with Comcast jumping on board, now Netflix is back on the picture again. And I want to talk about a few things too. Like I said, things are just right now a mess and stuff like that. And things are just all over the place right now. And it's in a state that's kind of concerning, just because we're going to see what the hell's going to happen in the end. Overall, this is very important. Like I've been telling y'all, we've all been saying and speculating and stuff like that. WB's in a situation that they need and they have to sell. That's it. They have to. Who's going to buy them? None of us know. So stop believing rumors. A lot of people are saying this and that. Look, right now, we have to look at the things as they come. All right. Whenever you see all these quote unquote sources and, like like Cosmic Book News and Variety, all these articles and things that are dropping, everybody's just repeating the same thing. Nothing is new. Everything is up in the air right now. You all have to understand, nobody, all right? There's no source officially that knows what the hell's going on. Everybody's just talking and speculating. That's it. Everybody's like, oh, I think this is gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen. Like I've been getting a lot of messages of people telling me, hey, this is going out, this is happening, this company's backing out, this one's back in. Yo, nothing is officially confirmed, right? We're going to find out something on Monday morning, probably by the end of the day on Monday, all right? And talking about Monday morning, I just want to talk about this real quick. I'm surprised that Zack Snyder didn't post anything yesterday for Thanksgiving, all right? That raises a little question mark. Like, yo, hold on, like, what's up? Related with DC. I know he put the picture of Sucker Punch, but that has nothing to do with what we're doing and like what we're fighting for and stuff like that. But he didn't post anything yesterday on Thanksgiving for DC and stuff like that. Which to me, this is just to me, it raises a question mark. Like, yo, what's going on? And I get a lot of people are like a little nervous. A lot of people are anxious, and that's normal. That's normal. We all want the best for this entertainment and stuff like that. But we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know how things are going to turn out in the end, and everything is just right now speculation. Nothing is official. Nothing is confirmed. We do not know who's the new owner. There's nothing officially, set in concrete. Nothing. Everything is just right now. This is what we're hearing left and right. All right. One thing I want y'all to understand also is, look, we just have to keep on pushing regardless. All right. We have to keep on pushing the message, and keep on fighting for the Snyderverse. And that's all it is. If the studio does sell to whoever, right? Let's just say it sells to Paramount. And Paramount does come out and say, hey, look, we do want to move forward with James Gunn. We do want to continue the DCU. Right now, we're not interested in doing anything with Zack Snyder. Then we continue to keep our wallets closed and locked. That's it, period. If Netflix does the same thing, no more excuses. We do the same thing. We continue to keep our wallets closed and locked. I don't care. I don't care if you're talking about sell it or this and that. Yo, I'm done with excuses. We have to keep on fighting for what we want until a studio. Let me specify that. Until a studio, it doesn't matter who, whether it's Warner Brothers, if they sell or they don't, we have to keep on hammering down on them and putting the pressure like we did for the Snyder Cut. Period. That's it. All right. Regardless. All right. I'm tired of all these hashtags and all this bullshit going around. Let's just focus to the mission. The mission is for us to get the Snyderverse restored. That's it. Period. We're getting off course. I'm seeing too many damn hashtags, too many new hashtags. We need to stop that shit. We really do. We're looking sloppy. I'm telling y'all exactly how we're looking right now. And we're giving more reason to all these James Gunn cultists to talk and make fun of us because we are looking ridiculous, honestly. If we all unite and use one hashtag, we will surpass these numbers, all right? We're making noise regardless. That's the whole point. We are making noise. In the end, we know that Zach wants to come back. We know that he wants to continue. We already know all that, all right? All these shills know it. That's why they're trying to push their agenda of saying, oh, James Gunn and, Man of Tomorrow and Supergirl and, oh, they're reshooting. They're putting this and that. We don't care. We do not care, honestly. I don't care about none of that. We know that next month, I think is in Brazil, wherever the hell they're going to do that event. I think it's the Comic Con Expo in Brazil or something like that. They're going to be putting the trailer for Supergirl. I don't care. I am not interested. And you're not going to be seeing me talking about it. Honestly, that's what we need to do. We need to stop giving them free advertisement, especially if you're a channel with a lot of followers. We need to stop that shit, honestly. We already know what James Gunn is pushing. He's pushing an agenda, and he's pushing everything that has to do for whatever he wants with his DCU. If we continue to fuel them and give them free advertisement, I'm telling you right now, we are going to give them free advertisement, and then everybody's going to be watching those shits again, those shows or movies, whatever the hell they're trying to do. That's not good. That's not good. We need to stop that bullshit. Honestly, we need to stop it. Seriously. We already know the DCU's DOA. All right. Every time they put out something, every single time they always put another nail in the coffin. That's it. Superman did damage completely to their brand. That's it. James Gunn is in panic mode. He knows that he is completely out of a job once this sale happens. And now you have these shows coming out saying, oh, that that he's confident that they're gonna continue with his stuff and this and that. Yo, I'm telling you right now, we will put a stop to that because in the end, we're the fan, customer, and consumer. That's it. And If they don't give us what we want, we continue to do what we're doing and we continue to boycott. Period. That's it. No and ifs or buts. All right. That's why you see all these shows coming out. They're crying and complaining all over the internet. And you're seeing it. There's different channels that they're all crying and complaining, but they're the minority. Us, the Snyder fans, the real fans, of DC, we all are the majority. And they know it. That's why they're barking up a tree. And honestly, they're just panicking. They're worried. They know that things are not looking good for them. They know that the switch is about to flip on them, honestly. And I'm telling you, we're all going to find out an official update. If we don't hear nothing by Monday, you have to remember, all right? You have to remember, in the end, David Zaslav said that we will officially know. This is why I'm telling you, don't believe every source and every news you hear out there, because David Zaslav himself said it. We're going to hear an official update, whether they sell it or they don't by Christmas time. All right. So we need to stop, like literally jumping to conclusions and saying, oh, well, this one's going to buy it. That one's going to buy it. This one already has it. Yo, no, everything is pure speculation and nobody knows. The only one that knows in the end what the hell he's going to do is David Zaslav and David Zaslav only, because he's the one that's going to say the final say of if if he accepts an offer or not. All right. David Zaslav, I think in the end is going to screw all of this up. I seriously think he's going to screw all of this up because of his greed. Dude wants $30 a share. WB is not in that situation right now. WB is not in a financial situation where you can say, hey, we're worth this much. No, you were worth that much. Not anymore. Tables have turned. The economy has changed. Things have shifted. Everything is political. All right. In the end, it's about who has the money, period. Is it Comcast? Is it Paramount? Is it Netflix? It doesn't matter. Whoever has the money, and if it meets up to the standards of David Zaslav, all right? David Zaslav has said it. He's already turned down $60 billion from Paramount. He's already turned them down 3 to 4 times. What is that telling you? And now they're saying that they need to, up their game, meaning like step it up. You know what that's telling you? Corporate greed. That's it. All right, you're offering this much, you should offer more. That's what it is. I'm telling you, it's just coming down to greed. And in the end, like I'm telling you, my worries is that David Zaslav is going to screw all of this for everybody, for all the studios that are trying to make offers, and of course for the fans, because he has no sense of what he wants to do with these IPs and these characters and stuff like that. Now, notice this. All of a sudden, they're fast tracking, right? How within the past 24 to 48 hours, we're hearing now that James Gunn wants to move forward, and he's given notes to all the directors for now. They're going to be working on Swamp Thing. Now they're going to be doing a Wonder Woman. He's already moving fast with Batman Brave and the Bold. What is that telling you? Dude is in panic mode. He's pacing right now. And with the way that things are going right now, he is right now trying so hard to push whatever the hell he's trying to do, in the sense of, hey, let's just put things out there. Because he feels that, like, this is what I've been telling y'all. David Zaslav feels, and I think his ego, just like James Gunn, is getting the best of him. And it's going up to his head saying, hey, well, look at our stocks. They're starting to go up. People are already looking at us. People are interested. Blah, blah, blah. Yo, don't chant victory yet, because you don't know what the hell you're going to do in the end. In the end, he needs to tell us right before Christmas, like he said, and he's going to tell us if he's going to sell or not. If David Zaslav doesn't sell, this is going to affect, let me repeat that. If David Zaslav does not sell Warner Brothers, Discovery, all of it, it's going to affect everything in show business. It's going to affect more the video game industry. It's going to affect more the comic industry. It's going to affect the movie industry. And the movie industry and all of that, they're all a mess right now. They're all trying to strategize and fix things, but they're so corporate that they don't know how to go about it. All right. We have to keep that in mind. These companies are corporate. They don't care and they don't see things like we do. This is why we have to tell them straight up, hey, this is what we want. And this is the message we're going to send out to you, telling you, yo, give us what we want. That's it. In the end, we already know how James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav are. They're all about their egos. Every time they're pushing out more and more flops, and they know it. They know it. This is why, like I said, their egos is what's going to destroy this industry more than what it is right now. All right. because we already know that other companies want to buy them out. Are they going to sell? That is the question. You know, everything, like I said, is all speculation right now. Nobody knows. I don't even think at this point right now, Zach himself knows to a certain point, because, like I told y'all, things change constantly. And like I said, it's kind of strange that he did not post yesterday something on Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a big holiday. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of unusual. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, what's up with that? That kind of raises me a question. Like, could maybe something change? Maybe something is floating around, behind closed doors that we don't know. And we'll never know because we're not in one of those chairs of the executives. Let's be real. None of us are. All right. And what's going to come from that? That's the question. We don't know, Probably, this is why I'm telling you, don't put all your eggs in one basket and don't have your hopes too high, my friends, because come Monday, if we don't hear an update by the end of the day, I'm guaranteeing you, right? WB is WB. They're shady and they're going to come out with another excuse and they're going to try to delay it. And they're going to try to come out with this and that and say this and change that. And, we want a sweeter deal. And we get it. You're just being greedy. That's it. You're just being greedy. We already know the business. I get it that this is a business, but you're not in a situation financially where you can say 100%, hey, look, our company is worth this much. No, it was, because right now everything you're putting out continues to tank. It's flopping. It's not working. It's not selling. It's not moving. See what I'm saying? And that's what they need to do. Straight up. They need to look at the facts, the statistics, and see what's really working. We already know it with James Gunn. None of that shit is working. Nothing of it. All right. They're doing fake reviews. They're putting all this, fake news outlets and sources and this and that. And nobody knows for sure what the hell's happening. All right. We're gonna see and we're gonna find out on Monday something. Not officially everything, because I know some of you are like, oh, we're gonna find out 100% on Monday. No. David Zasloff said it himself. Come by Christmas time, right? Literally within less than a month, because today is, November 28th and Christmas is what, like 26th, 25th December. So literally less than a month now. All right. We're going to officially find out what's going to happen. All right. If it does sell, if the sale does go through, good, wonderful. We need that. If it doesn't sell, that's where the concerns are going to come in, because it's like, like, what the hell is happening over there? Like, it's completely discombobulated. Everything is just right now all over the place. And it's because David Zasloff himself has no clue what he's doing. He's good at one things when it comes to business, for him to secure his funds and make his money, but he's not good when it comes to overall seeing what's good for his company, for his brand, and in the long run. Because of course he's just trying to, I'll sell right now and I'll sit back, relax, and the money's gonna come in. It doesn't work like that. It straight up doesn't work like that. And if he throws away the next bids, that's concerning also. Look, let's be real. Let's talk about a few things, all right? Let's talk about first things first that I want to talk about Paramount. We've been hearing rumors, and like I talked about it in the last stream, right? Cosmic Book News. Look, Matt is a shill, period. He was shilling for James Gunn during the summer. You don't believe me? Go check out his content. You'll see his old videos for Superman. After Superman tanked, then he started turning on WB. Now that he's seeing everybody talking about Snyder this and Snyder that, clickbait. And what is he doing? He's getting views. People are watching his content, all that stuff, okay? Clickbait. That's it. All right, making up things. I can tell y'all right now, hey, my sources just told me. Breaking news. My sources just told me. I could just be making that up. See what I'm saying? So don't believe everything you're hearing on the internet. Everything right now, like I said, not even official accounts know what the hell's really going on. Because again, this is all stuff that's going inside of WB. Their politics. None of us are going to ever find out the full details unless we're in that meeting, right? Paramount wants to continue with James Gunn. That's the rumor that's floating around. And I believe that. Paramount has destroyed, unfortunately, the Transformers brand, right? It's been years, and look at where the brand is at right now. Let's be real, my friends. Let's be real, all right? This is why they're going back now to Michael Bay. And the rumors out there that Michael Bay is scouting out locations in Africa right now as we speak for his next production. We do not know what it is, all right? He did post up something recently that he's looking for extras for his next upcoming film. We do not know what it is. He did the same thing for the first Transformers movie, I think, or it was, I think, for the second one or third one, something like that. Anyways, and then there was a fan that actually got selected and all that stuff. All right, cool. He's doing the same thing right now. All right. Only they know what's going to happen with that brand. And they have until 2029 to get their act together. All right. That's what the Transformers IP live action films. DC is in the same situation. WB overall is in the same situation. You have to get it together in order for you to start making profit. All right. Let's say that Paramount does buy them out and they're the new parent company, if you want to call it, and they want to continue with James Gunn's DCU and they want to keep moving forward with James Gunn and everything that he's putting out. This is why you're seeing all these James Gunn fake fans coming out right now, calling themselves DC fans when in reality they're fake, because they will accept anything and they will settle for anything because they don't care, honestly. They prefer what we saw with, Superman and Peacemaker season 2. That they're okay with. But when it comes to quality in the movies, they don't care about that. They really don't. They've admitted it. They don't care about that. They just want anything out there. All right. And if they continue with that, I'm telling you right now, we shouldn't be interested. We should not be supporting them. And we're going to also give them the same treatment like we've been giving WB. We're going to keep our wallets closed and locked, period, until you give us what we want. This is why we're pushing for this sale to happen. That's just with Paramount, right? Let's not forget that Walter Hamada is also at Paramount. Some of y'all keep forgetting. Walter Hamada still has power at Paramount. He's a producer. A producer puts money down. Isn't that what James Gunn is doing right now for V for Vendetta? He's going to be a producer because he's trying to still be involved with Warner Brothers once and if it does sell. James Gunn's trying to secure himself at WB now with DC and whatever they're trying to put out. He's going to try to be like, hey, I will start, being like an investor. I want to start producing these movies. But you know what comes with being a producer? Some of you don't know that a producer can also give notes higher than a director and tell you, hey, I don't like this. We're going to change it and we're going to go with this. You know why? Because I am the producer and I'm putting money down. The director doesn't do that unless you see specifically that the director funds most of the project, then they have a lot of say. But the producer is above. And then you have executive producer. Everything is just corporate ladder bullshit. All right. Walter Hamada is a producer. All right. That means he's putting down money for whatever projects that they need. We saw that with Shazam. We saw that with, I think it was Black Adam also. And I think we saw that also too with the Flush. But the point is that he's still at Paramount and he still has power. All right. That's it. Now let's talk about Netflix real quick. What a lot of people tend to forget is Netflix. And look at what, this is all not coincidence. This is why I'm telling you, there has to be people in the industry that are watching my videos because all of this cannot be coincidence. I spoke about a few days ago on one of my videos about the difference between Paramount, Netflix, and Comcast, right? And I said, which is best for business? You decide all that stuff. And when I spoke about that video, I specifically said what I want to talk about now at Netflix. Who's at Netflix right now that doesn't get along with Zack Snyder? Dan Lin. He's been in power since 2024. All right. Literally a year and some months. And now what are we hearing? That Dan Lin didn't want to approve Rebel Moon with the budget and the money. Why? He has something against him. Sounds to me like that's still drama related to Walter Hamada, James Gunn, and all of these executives from the past. Sounds to me like they're trying to still carry an agenda against Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse. And what are we hearing now? That they're canceling the rumors, that they're canceling Rebel Moon, that they're canceling Twilight of the Gods. They already canceled Army of the Dead. Again, these are just rumors. I'm not saying that this is confirmed. But we have been, you don't believe me, do a Google search. Put Dan Lin, Netflix, and Zack Snyder, and you'll see what it's going to tell you. They don't really get along. Zack is cool. It's Dan Lin that doesn't, for some reason, like Zack Snyder. Sounds to me like he's trying to push his little agenda against quality, And we already know how woke Netflix is, and they love to push agendas and race swaps and all this stuff. Whatever. The point is, That if right now they're canceling projects of Zack Snyder in the middle of this whole sale and everything is happening, and these are established IPs, we already have two Rebel Moons, one and two. All right. We know that they did this successfully on streaming. All right. We know it because it came out, the numbers came out, everything was revealed that, yeah, it was a success. You don't believe me? Do a Google search also. And it's going to tell you, even AI is going to tell you, yeah, it was a success. Now, the question comes down to what the hell is happening? What's really happening over there? See what I'm saying? And it's like, what are they trying to do? In the sense of Netflix. Let's just say that Netflix does want to acquire and they end up buying them. Let's be real. Do you really think that they're going to give two shits about what we're fighting for? If they're doing all this right now, they're putting all these tricks right now before you, before the sale. What is that telling you? That's what you want to buy WB? Imagine when they own the DC IPs, what the hell they're going to do? They're probably going to be worse than WB. That's telling you a lot. And a lot of people are forgetting that. I get it. Y'all might be in your feelings. Oh, sell it to Netflix and this and that. Yo, fuck all that. I'm telling you straight up. Why would I want to back up a company that's canceling projects of a director that I'm fighting for? It makes no sense, right? 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 does not equal 5. And that's what it's adding up to right now because of all the political, nonsense and drama that they're doing right now over with the studios. And like I told you, and Dan Lin he's like, I think he's the chairman of Netflix. So what is that telling you? And he's controlling the money at Netflix. You really think a person that's right now doing these moves in the middle of this, sale that's going on and everything that's happening is really going to give two shits about what we want? No. You really think that they're going to be putting it out on physical media? Hell no. They're not putting out nothing right now with Rebel Moon, Army of the Dead. But yet you want to still back that shit up in the sense of, oh yeah, Netflix are the right ones? Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's stop kidding ourselves. Let's be real. Let's wake up and see reality. These two companies don't give a damn. They don't. If Netflix gave a damn, they will be putting out physical media constantly. And don't come at me and tell me, oh, well, they're starting to do now, deals with AMC. Screw all that. They should have been done that. Don't do that now in the middle of a sale. Just because you want to win like politicians points. You're bullshitting us. I see bullshit when I see it, honestly. Straight up. Straight up. And what they did to Cavill, what they've done, to him with The Witcher. I mean, WB's not a saint, either. What is that telling you? If these companies don't care, then why are we really backing them up? Why are we fighting for them? It doesn't make sense. That's why you don't see me backing any of that. I just stick to restore the Snyderverse because that's the main goal that I want. Whether it sells or it doesn't, we need to wake up and see reality, my friends. We really do, And these whole hashtags that just keep on popping up, yo, we need to chill with that. We really need to chill with that. We don't need 1,000 hashtags. We just need one damn hashtag. That's it. I know that there's a trending event coming up for December 20th for David Ayer. I say we just stick to release the Ayer cut. That's it. We don't need 1,000 hashtags. We don't need no more new hashtags. Like the shit's already out of control. Seriously, it's out of control. Like I've been seeing so many. I'm like, yo, this shit's just ridiculous. Being real talk with y'all, And somebody has to call it out and say it straight up. It's too much. We need to stop that nonsense. We're fighting for a purpose. I get that we're all trying to fight for the same cause, but it makes us look sloppy. Honestly, it makes us look sloppy. And seeing what Netflix is doing right now, that we're hearing all these rumors that they're canceling, all these projects from Zack Snyder left and right. What is that telling you? They clearly don't care. Because if they cared, they would have been like, yo, we are working on the next Rebel Moon. We know Zack is busy, but it's in there. You get what I'm saying? Like it's in there. It's on the way sometime. No, we haven't heard anything. All right. And that's what it has to be. It has to be honestly like that. So we're gonna see, like I said, from here to Monday, what update we're going to hear. But at the same time, don't have your hopes too high, my friends. Don't. You can't. Because then when you hear what you don't want to hear, you're gonna realize and be like, damn, they let us down again. It's not that they let us down, it's just your expectations were too high. This is why right now I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling, watching, and listening. Everybody's reporting the same thing. Real talk. Everybody in the sense of all these articles and companies and stuff like that, they're all reporting the same thing because that's what's floating around. Nothing is officially confirmed. Nothing. We're gonna hear, hopefully we'll hear something on Monday. But don't be surprised if all of a sudden WB does delay something and say, well, we're gonna wait because of whatever reason, and then before the end of the year, you'll find out an official update. They just delayed it right now. We're supposed to hear something on Wednesday, literally 2 days ago, 3 days ago. We haven't heard anything. The only thing is that they delayed it to Monday, and now and they're saying, they're trying to quote unquote trying to tell the people that are trying to buy them out, hey, you should increase your bids for better chances. And once David Zaslav sees the offer that he's, more interested in, that's who he wants to move forward with. From what I've been reading in all these articles, he wants to seal a deal, but he wants to go with the highest offer that he can get. But let's be realistic. All of these companies, even Netflix, they even said it. All right. We've already seen it with Paramount. Why is Paramount only offering what, like 20, less than 25 a share for, to buy WB? Because $30 is too much. In the long run, their return on investment is going to cost them much more. So their investment is going to take a little bit longer to come in and see profits. And that's not good. That's not good for any company because why would you want to buy a company, absorb its debt? The debt is much higher than what they're making profit, and it's going to take you in the long run even twice, as long to pay it off. So it just wouldn't make sense. Let's be real. Realistically, it's just coming down to the point where everybody's just speculating right now. We need to wait, look back, stay up to date, and see what the update is going to be on Monday. Because I get it. We all want the best and we all want DC the way we want it. We also want to be included. Straight up. I've said it and I'll say it again. I don't care if you want to move with James Gunn's universe. Just include us. You have Matt Reeves and that's okay. You're going to have James Gunn's DCU and that's okay. Where the hell does the Snyderverse fall into play? How come we can't be considered? How come we get, treated wrong? Like, like what the hell? Let's be real. How come, let's be real, how come they keep on putting merchandise of the Snyderverse? Why are they making statues, hot toys, sideshow collectibles, McFarlane? Why are they constantly putting out merchandise from the Snyderverse, but they're not doing crap with James Gunn's DCU? Because the Snyderverse sells. That's why. The Snyderverse sells, there's money, and that's what moves. Straight up. That's exactly what it is in the end. It's all about money. And of course, like I said, everything is political. That's something that we cannot stop and will never stop. Just because that's part of this industry. It just comes with it. Okay. Everything has politics. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. All right. Unfortunately. And in the end, we're we're gonna have to see what's really going to come out from all of these, updates and all of this, all of these sources, and officially a WB update. Because, like I said, everything is right now up in the air. Everything is just pure speculation. Nobody knows for sure. The only one that has the ball in his court and he's going to determine whether this actually moves forward or how it's going to move forward is David Zaslav. He's the man with the final say, and we have to all respect that. Let's be honest. If he sells or he doesn't, we have to respect his decision. He's the one that's in charge. But just know, all right? Just know that whatever decision he decides is going to have a consequence, whether it's good or bad. Because if he sells, that's going to help the next studio, the next company, the IP, the brand, because they're going to make money off of it. If it doesn't sell, that's going to cost a lot of jobs, a lot of production, a lot of movies, and the list continues just because of that. It affects everything. It's a domino effect. Everything is just literally, like tangled with each other in the sense of they're all together. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Um, look, unfortunately, everything is political. It's always going to stay political. That's how it is. That's just how it is. When you have a president, whether it's this country or another country or anything that has to do with politics getting involved, you have your answer. That means that it's political, period. That's just how this business is. That's how it is. It's always been like that, and it's always going to remain like that. You don't believe me? Go back to ancient times. Everything has been political, unfortunately. We have no control over that. It's just a system. That's why it's called a system. Whatever. I won't talk about that. The whole point is what we want is just for the Snyderverse to come back. We want to be included. We do not want to be excluded. We want to be included. You want to add it like Elseworld? Go for it. You want to do something different? Go for it. Let's not forget also. Remember, remember also, my friends, in January, literally, like in a month or so, we are going to see Comcast come into play with HBO Max with their streaming service. And what I've been telling y'all about that rumor that they want to do DC alternative content for HBO Max. That's the rumor that's been floating around. Not a lot of people are talking about that. Not a lot of people are covering that. Why? Because they're trying to hide it. They're just trying to hide it. So I've been telling y'all for a while, don't sleep on Comcast. And we know that Comcast has the money, they have the funding, they have every good option if they were to buy and acquire Warner Brothers. And we know that they care about the consumer because they have a theme park, they put physical media, theatrical releases, they do streaming. Hell, they got Christopher Nolan over there. So it's like it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for them, the studio, the brand IPs, and it's a win for us, the fans, because like, yo, that something good is gonna come from that. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying that is different? They have points on their side, meaning, okay, they're shitty too, because I'm sure that they are, but they're not as scummy as Paramount, and we're seeing it how Paramount is right now, and we're seeing that they're canceling, a live action TMNT that's supposed to be rated R because they want to go with a more Sonic Marvelized type of Turtles live action again with the silly and goofiness. That's it. That's what they want. They're trying to go after that Sony money with Sonic. All right, the same thing like Marvel. They're trying to go after that commercial type of content, and we already know that the Snyderverse with Zack Snyder, with DC, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a global phenomenon. That tells you everything. That tells you everything. When you have the head of the marketing of WB telling you, hey, this was a global success. That wasn't a global flop. It was a global success. It crashed the HBO Max servers. That tells you everything. Marvel has not done that. Sonic has not done that. James Gunn's DCU has not done that. Nothing. The only one has done that has just been Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's it. Not even Godzilla versus Kong was able to do that. What is that telling you? That there was a huge demand. Low key, it was a huge demand. But then the studio they're still trying to cover that. They're still trying to cover it. And then they come out with something else and they know the numbers instantly, right? So I'm telling you, they're just trying to hide the facts. That's all. In the end, like I said, we have to keep on pushing. We have to stay united because that's exactly what in the end is going to happen. We're just fighting for good quality. That's it. The question is, what's going to happen? What decision is David Zaslav going to take in the end? We're going to see, from here, from here to Monday, my expectations are not high whatsoever. I'm telling you right now, because when Monday comes around and we don't hear anything, don't be surprised. You don't want your feelings to be like, damn, what happened? Like they didn't update us and stuff like that. And like, honestly, I'm waiting. Me personally, I'm waiting till the end of the year to hear an official update from David Zaslav. That's what we need to be like looking forward to. Let him tell us, yo, this is a decision. This is what he wants to do and how he wants to go about on it. Because in the end, he has the final say, not cosmic book news, not variety, not this YouTuber or that YouTuber. No, the only one that knows in the end is just going to be David Zaslav. And I'm sure it's going to go public and we're going to find out because everybody's watching right now. Everybody, But we do know that he wants to sell. But the question is how much is he willing to sell it? How much is he willing to take? What's the lowest that he's willing to take? You know? And that's the fear that kind of worries me of if all these studios don't counter offer and make him a real good offer, then chances are that he's going to reject it. He's probably going to reject all of them. And if that does happen, then we're back to the drawing board, meaning from, the start again, meaning, all right, here we are with WB again. And we continue. We continue to do our thing, you know, because in the end, that's all that matters. It just, we have to keep on pushing and we have to keep on coming together to let, these studios know, hey, we're here, you know, we're here. We've always been here. Like, what's the business, what's really good, and what the hell is really going to be happening, because again, like I've said, the only thing that worries me is that David Zaslav and his greed, because he's seeing dollar signs, he's going to be like, I want more. And sometimes more doesn't always mean good for business, because sometimes more just means, hey, you're scaring off the buyer. Have you ever been to, let's say, for example, or maybe seen a live auction? Maybe you buy or sell on eBay. Maybe you've seen movies, Storage Wars, things like that. When you're making bids and you're trying to buy something, what are they always going for? The highest offer that they can accept. And you can see it. They're constantly going at it. It's a war, it's a bidding war. You have this offer. And then right when they're about to sell, boom, you have another high offer. Oh, that's about to sell. Boom, you have another high offer. And then these sales and these offers just get out of control. It's like, wow, that's way too much. Like you're overpaying. That's what these studios are doing. Netflix is willing to buy it. Paramount's willing to buy it. Comcast is willing to buy it. But they're not trying to overspend. That's the thing. They're not trying to overspend, and they're trying to stay within the budget, where things could be a little bit more affordable for them, even though they have the money. But of course, they're just trying to save some money, so they can have a little spare change and do whatever it is that they need to do in their studios and whatever in the long run, things like that. So we're going to see what is going to come from all of this. And in the end, we just have to wait. We just have to wait, just because we don't know what's really coming from all of this. And look, the cage is already rattled. Everybody's right now on edge. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen and what's going to come from this. We don't know. We don't know. Everything right now, like I said, is up in the air, and we're going to have to find out, Hopefully it's for the good. Hopefully it's not for the bad. But again, it's a 50-50. We have to see realistically what's going to happen. Where there's so many things that can come from this, and I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know. There could be something happening with just DC, and that's why Zach is posting. Could be. I think if nothing comes though, they're gonna piece it up in early 2026. Could be, could be. I'm just hoping for the best. Just because we all want good quality, but I, I don't know. Like I'm getting to the point where like I'm not losing hope or anything. It's just like I really hope that they don't screw this up, you know. And we're going to see. Like I said, time is going to tell everything, and of course, how much money do these companies and these studios have that like that they're willing to invest, in what it is that they're trying to spend and stuff like that. So we'll see what's going to happen in the end. Hopefully it's for the good, and it's going to benefit all of us. I say all of us because in the end, like I said, we're all fans. How come James Gunn and the DCU are eating? How come Matt Reeves and the Reeves verse, if you want to call it, how come they're eating? But what about the Snyderverse? Oh, but when it's convenient, then they go ahead and, oh, let's put out a Snyderverse related item. They cash and they make money on it, but then they don't want to include us in any of their projects. That's what I don't get. And then they want to retcon. So I'm like, yo, you need us and you want us when it's convenient. But then, like, what the hell? It's like it's one or the other. But again, we have to see what's going to happen and what's going to come from all of this, because again, everything is just speculation right now, and we're going to have to see. I don't know. I don't know. And Like I said, a lot of people are just making up news right now. They're just doing it just for clickbait and stuff like that. And all the updates and the things that we're hearing online is just the same news being rinsed, washed, and repeat. It's the same thing. This one is making an offer. They're preparing an offer. WB is telling them to increase the offers so it could be, a little bit better and stuff like that. We get it. You want the best and the most high offers, but you're not in that situation anymore. The studio is just not, what it used to be no more. So we have to see. You know, um, uh, we have to see. We have to see what's going to come from it and stuff like that. Let's see. If a person claims to like Snyder but still says move on, then they were never a real fan. Yeah, I agree with you. True 31, for example, he's a gun cultist. Yeah, the Truth grew his channel, like a few other channels with the Snyderverse community. And once the whole shift with the DCU with James Gunn, he revealed his true colors like a comedian, and we already know what he's about, and he bashes the Snyder community and stuff like that. So, but it's okay, everybody's revealing who they are and where they stand at, like I told y'all since day one, since I've been on this channel for the longest, whatever it's been, that I've always talked about and I back up the Snyderverse, you know, and you've all seen the comments, you've all seen all that stuff. So, in the end, that's what it is, you know. But again, it is what it is. They're just showing themselves, they're revealing themselves, and numbers don't lie. We're already seeing that with James Gunn. Things are just not moving. They're not working realistically. They are not, and they have to understand and accept that, hey, this is what the fans want, the majority of them, and we're gonna have to see what's gonna come from it. We have to, we just have to be patient. We really have to be patient. I get it that we're all right now anxious and we're impatient. We all want the best, we want to hear these updates ASAP, but we don't know. We don't know what the hell's happening. And you have to remember also things change. They could say one thing right now, like we heard, hey, we're gonna hear something by before Thanksgiving. And everybody's like, oh, on Wednesday we're gonna hear something and this and that. And then all of a sudden, like completely nothing happened, So what is that telling you? That completely is telling you that it's just like it's just like come on, let's be real, they're gonna keep on coming up with excuses. That's what it is because they're playing corporate games, and we just have to see and just be patient. That's all. At this point, we all just have to be patient and hear official updates because right now there's gonna be so many fake news and updates and oh this is happening and that's happening when in reality it probably isn't, and I don't know. I don't know, like that's why I'm just watching and like kind of like okay, paying close attention to what these updates are about. But again, until David Zaslav doesn't come out or WB and actually says, "Hey, this is what it is," then then we'll see exactly uh where things are at right now. Because like I said, just right now everything is up in the air. David Zaslav has the final say. We know that Netflix, Paramount, Comcast, they're working on offers. We don't know what it is though. We don't know how much they're going to counter offer. But just know this, my friends. Just know that by the time that we start seeing from here to Christmas, right before an official update, we're going to be hearing some wild bidding offers. We are going to be in for a special treat with numbers because once these numbers pop off, it started at 60 billion with Paramount. That got turned down. Once we hear what Netflix is willing to counter offer, let's say 70 billion, 80 billion, I don't know. Comcast 90 billion. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I have a feeling those numbers are going to reach 100 billion. And that's where I think is going to end the whole bid. It can't pass 100 billion. It just cannot. It just can't. WB is not in that state. They are really not in that state right now. Exactly. Be patient. Don't exactly believe every single article coming out, especially if it's only one source. Yeah. Because notice how everything is just one source, Cosmic Book News. And from there, everybody's just dissecting that. Oh, they came out with this. How about we wait and see more updates? So it's like that's what I'm saying. We have to be patient. We really have to at this point, because I know we're all right now anxious, but it's making us look a little bit desperate, you know? And we don't want this to backfire on us in the sense of, well, all that fight for nothing. No, something is going to happen. What exactly? That's what we don't know. That's the part we do not know yet. But once it does happen, whatever comes from it, then that's good. If it doesn't sell and WB wants to break off from their own selves and then they want to move forward by themselves, I'll tell you right now that that's going to be a mess. That's going to be a mess. And in the long run, that's not going to benefit anything or anyone. It's just not. It's going to benefit David Zaslav because of course, he's trying to secure his funds, but overall for the company and then the investors, oh, like the investors, the shareholders, that they must be right now like really really worried. So again, let's be patient, let's keep waiting, let's see what's going to happen. We do know that trending event for December 20th for Release the Air Cut is coming up. I know there's also another trending event for Rebel Moon that's also coming up in December, so it's going to be interesting. December is going to be an interesting month, and again, we're going to trend because that's what we do. And in the end, that's all that matters. We just had to stay together. We had to keep on making noise. We have to send the message to these studios, all of them. This is what we want. And it's like we have to. And it just comes down to, I really hope that they make the right decision. I really hope so, honestly. You know, like it's just everything is just on a pause for us because everything is just speculation. Do you think Matt Reeves the Batman should be canned or no? What are your thoughts on his universe so far? I'm not a fan of Matt Reeves and his universe just because he had the chance to work with Ben Affleck and he turned it down, and he literally took the title from Ben Affleck's movie, which was going to be the Batman. And look, honestly, the Batman with Matt Reeves, just for me, I'm not interested in it. I'm just not interested, honestly. It's just not for me. I gave it a chance. I saw it twice. Um, I saw Penguin. I just wasn't interested. I've already seen it. Christopher Nolan has already given us that version of Batman, the more realistic, like the more, hell, even Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy he was a detective. So we've seen that. You don't believe me? In The Dark Knight, when he's literally, tracking the bullet that when he's in the, I think in the lab with Alfred, and he's trying to like, like I guess sort it out and see which is the one that matches. And like we've seen all that, like, and Matt Reeves is just doing the same thing. Like I've already seen that version of Batman. Like we just haven't really seen something like what Zach has done. We saw a glimpse of it with Batman versus Superman, but we haven't seen a full Batman movie with and under Zack Snyder. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that in live action, not animation, because I am not settling for animation. I am not. I am not. I want it live action, and it's supposed to be live action because that's where the money's at. At this, state that we are right now, that's exactly where the money is at, and that's what's going to bring the company back to where they're at. And especially if they want to go up against the Avengers, Doomsday, and they want to go up against Secret Wars, they need to bring back the Snyderverse. What the hell are you gonna have with James Gunn? Come on, let's be real. A Marvel versus Marvel type of movie. Let's be real. That's exactly what it is. You know, and the only way that DC can literally go up against cinematic wise, I'm talking about, is completely, completely, um, the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse. That's exactly what they could go up against Avengers. You know, because I mean it's the Avengers. What's a bigger IP than Justice League? I mean, it's already established when it comes to the cinematic universe, and that's what Zack Snyder did. That's exactly what Zack Snyder did. That's why I'm glad that James Gunn is not doing anything with Darkseid, because I think behind closed doors he's like, "Yo, I'm not gonna do it because it's just gonna get worse than what it is, and let me just focus on my thing." Good, focus on your thing. That's it. You should have never done what you did with the Snyderverse. You should have never put the Snyderverse in your Peacemaker. You just forced it in there, and then you forcefully took it out by retconning. It's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. So, but again, anything could change. And in the end, look, all we're trying to fight for is just quality, and we just want good movies. That's it. We just want the proper conclusion for, Zack Snyder, for David Ayer, what we were promised. That's all. That's all we want. Once you give us that, then I will gladly pack my bags and move on. That's it. Is that easy? WB makes it complicated because they're like, no, we refuse to put it out. The more you refuse and the more you say no, is the more that it's costing you and you're losing money. Literally. Every day you're losing money by not restoring the Snyderverse. You're going up for a sale because you don't want to restore the Snyderverse. Because if all of your other IPs were working and they were so successful, you wouldn't be in this situation. You just wouldn't. If James Gunn came and quote unquote saved DC and saved the company and Superman saved it, you wouldn't be selling. Let's be real. Those are the facts. Because when you're doing good, you don't need to be up for sale. You know, even though Disney's doing bad in the sense with their MCU and all that stuff, they're still doing good. They're making profit. They're selling merchandise. They still sell movies. Whatever. It is what it is. They still make money. But James Gunn every time is a flop with another flop, and it just keeps going down. Instead of it going up and being a success, it just keeps sinking more and more. That's the difference. With Zack Snyder, things were up there, going up there, and it's proven with Aquaman. With Aquaman, the first movie from the DCEU, a character that Zack Snyder chose, Jason Momoa, from the Snyderverse, made $1 billion. So we were going up. But once they decided to say, hey, we're going to start going with Shazam and all these goofy, silly movies, look at where they are right now. James Gunn's Superman could not beat Joss Whedon's Justice League. What is that telling you? That says a lot. It tells you a lot. And in the end, that's what they need to be looking at. They need to be looking at those statistics. But again, we'll see what's going to happen. I know from here to Monday, it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna feel like a long, long time from now. But again, we'll see. We'll find out. But we'll see. We just have to be patient. Patience is the key. And I told y'all that's what we're gonna need, a lot of patience. Because in the end, these corporate executives, they don't know what we really want. They think they know, but they really don't know. James Gunn thought, and he convinced David Zaslav and said, hey, we need a new Superman. We don't need Henry Cavill. We don't need the Snyder fans. We don't need none of that. We're going to move on and we're going to do a reboot. Oh, it's going to be a semi-reboot. No, it's going to get retcon. Yo, which one is it? Make up your mind. You have characters from the DCEU coming into your DCU. Which one is it? You want to move away from it? Do you want to include it? Do you want to use parts? You sound confusing. Like you're completely confusing, James Gunn. Which one is it? Make up your mind. Is your DCU canon? Not canon? You're retconning things. You pick what's convenient. You want to keep characters that are convenient. What fits your narrative? That's what I see. Whatever you see that fits and you piss off your audience, that's what you're doing. And you're doing a fantastic job at that, James Gunn. You've ruined DC. You've ruined these movies. Hell, you don't even know what route you're in right now. You don't know what road lies ahead for you because you caused this yourself. You brought this upon the studio. You, as the DC head, the CEO of DC Studios, have done a horrible job at it. That's what you're good at destroying the brand. You did a fantastic job. You destroyed the brand of DC. And damn it, you did a fantastic job at that. 100%. You fully have destroyed the DC brand for Warner Brothers. What an embarrassment. That's where your legacy is going to remain. That's exactly what the James Gunn, era, I don't know, verse, whatever the hell you want to call it, is going to be. That's exactly what it is. It's sad, but this is what it's come down to. Snyder fans are the reason why Superman 25 didn't bust $1 billion. We were the other half. They needed to make Superman success. True. The majority of them are overseas. Yep. I remember James Gunn made fun of us. Okay. You wanted to make fun of us? We showed you. We showed you exactly what happened. And that's telling them everything. And now James Gunn probably is in panic mode, saying, "Hey, what am I going to do?" It's too late. The damage is done already. You cannot fix it. It's done. The same way you retcon things, now in real life, we have to retcon everything that this mess has been caused. All courtesy of James Gunn. That tells you everything in the end. That's everything. Completely, you know? And it's just completely a mess. A mess. Let me see. Superman makes Justice League look like a masterpiece. Come on, come on. You're on another account, like for real. Oh, these James Gunn fans! I tell you, man. I tell you, they find any way to just try to come in here and just try to push their little ideas. But again, this is why this sale has to happen, and it's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen, and we're going to find out more on Monday. Hopefully, we hear something today, but I doubt it because today's of course, the day after Thanksgiving. A lot of companies, corporates are closed and stuff, so probably this is why they're pushing. They're probably working overtime, and we're going to hear something probably by Monday. Probably Monday afternoon. By the end of the day, we should keyword we should hear something. It doesn't guarantee that we are, but again, we're gonna have to see and find out what WB is gonna pull out. I think that they're just gonna pull out, typical little bullshit excuse that they always do, and they're probably not even gonna update nobody. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna delay it and we're gonna push it for another week until," and they're gonna probably extend it all the way until like before the end of the year. Then we'll find out officially. I think the week, the last week of this month of December, well, next month, I think that's when things are gonna, get heated, and we're gonna start hearing all those bids and who's gonna drop out, who's the runner up, who's up there, who's the ones taking the lead. Unfortunately, it's just gonna be like politics, like, oh, this one's winning, this one's up there. This it's just it is what it is. But we'll see. We will see what's gonna happen. And like I said, don't believe all the news and all the things you're hearing out there. Half of it is probably made up right now, just because people are just trying to get attention and stuff like that. But let's just wait and see. Let's be patient. Let's keep on fighting. Let's keep on doing our thing. And come Monday, probably by the end of the day, we should hear something. But that doesn't guarantee anything. So with that being said, my friends, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. If something does come up, of course, I'll update y'all, post up, and I'm sure everybody's gonna be talking about it and stuff like that. So with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are around, whatever time zone. I'll probably be back sometime tomorrow and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.